what I've got to say and chew, and if you want to come get another biscuit, that's acceptable too. This is a pretty well relaxed situation. This is not my meeting. Everybody's wondering what the heck's going on. What's happening? What is this all about? What does Bainstone think he is anyway? I'm supposed to be at work. All the other things I can be doing. This is your meeting, not mine. This is not my meeting. This is your meeting. I'm going to try to let you understand why it's your meeting. That's why you're here. I think that we've got a lot of good going on. And all these various departments. We've got people that's been here a long time. Here goes Woody. Let's get him situated. Woody, come in. Welcome.
Everybody stare at Woody.
Morning, Woody. Get your biscuit. Go find your place to park.
Everybody turn around and stare at Woody.
Woody,
Get
you're
your
supposed to stretch your stuff when they do
Get your
that.
biscuit or two. Now, see, you've directed all this attention. Get you a napkin.
I don't mind attention.
You don't mind attention?
I don't.
Now, don't see your picture. David, for the
Water and
ladies in
sewer's
the
back
office.
over here somewhere. Now, this is your department, right back over here. But I'll go back again now and say this is your meeting, and I'm complimenting you on a lot of good that's going on. And I'm encouraged about the town of Hazlehurst. We've got a good bit of good things going on in spite of all of our jobs. You know, used to Hazlehurst Mills had 2,200 employees down here. Now there's 200 or some figure now. When I quote figures now, I deal in round figures, and they may not be just right. I don't want to tell somebody that I didn't know what the amount was because I round things off. But there used to be 2,000 here, 500 there, 750 there, 450 there. And this used to be the industrial city. And Lord, what the economy has done to us. But in spite of that, we're holding on pretty good. I see some encouraging things going on in the city, and a lot of you have been here a long time. Some of you are new. I think the lack of this, us getting together, is a problem. And that's the reason we're here today. You folks may not realize it, but this is all one team. It's like when you play basketball, football, whatever, and the team's on the sideline, and here they are. We're all one team. We're not different areas. We serve different, but it's just like the different members of a team working. We're a team. And these supervisors, department heads, or whatever we want to call us, we can ask you to go do something here, or ask you to do this, that, and the other. Let me tell you something. Nothing will work as good as where you are on your job and what you're doing to perform it well and do a good job. And somehow, I think, and I'm not being critical here. I'm here to try to be the cheerleader sort of for us. But I want us to try to get an attitude that we are a team. And whether you know it or not, how you perform your job, each of you, how you perform your job and what you do is going to result in what this town is going to be 5, 10 years from now, 20 years down the line. You, each integral part. A chain is no stronger than its weakest link. If you've got a vehicle or something in the ditch, you'll get a good machine and tie to it with a chain, and you're going to pull it out. If you've got a bad link in there, your truck or whatever's in the ball is going to still be there. The chain is going to break. So this meeting is to let you know that you are a link in this chain. if we're going to be successful and help to make this a great town for maybe your children, grandchildren who have to leave or are going to leave and go somewhere else, a lot of us are going to stay. Somebody's going to be here. What are you going to leave them? For instance, the group over here at City Hall, and I've told them this a little, and I'm reiterating, and I want you to, I'm talking to all of you. When somebody drives up to that drive-in window or walks in that door into City Hall, these ladies up there, you work for them. These people that are coming by, coming in, paying these bills or whatever they want there, they're your boss. You work for them. As you ride around patrolling and looking after the safety of the city, the people's houses that you're riding by, these are the people you're working for. We are all public servants. If you work for we got a new shoe factory over here. If you go to work down there for the shoe factory, and back behind there's a trailer place, we'll say, and there's all sorts of employment places, Burger King and everywhere else. If you go to work for one of these companies, the product that you make, and then the ability for it to be sold, for somebody to buy it, and you make a little money on that product, and then in turn the owner of the business makes a little money and he pays his employees, and private enterprise works that way. You're not in private enterprise. You are public servants. Every dime in your paycheck, these people around this town put it there. They're paying you. So you are responsible for pleasing them. Of course, you've got to please your boss. Don't mean it ugly, but if you work for me, of course, you better try to do what I say. And I want to say this, and by the way, I'm not your boss. Each of you have got your own area of responsibility. But if you work for me at the time that I was working somebody, I don't mean it ugly, and I was a little wrong sometimes, but you better work. I wasn't ugly, but I expected a day's work for a day's pay. And then all through the years, I worked for myself. If I got paid at the end of the month, I had to generate it. And the people that worked for me, I had to pay them. And I expected results. I don't think that all of us, I think we've got some, as I look at, I'm not being critical now, I'm here as a cheerleader. I want to pump you up. I want you to feel better when you leave. I want to put a little ignition in you to do better. But some of us, if so-and-so told me to be here, and he was supposed to have been here 30 minutes ago, so I reckon I'm just supposed to stand here. Well, I told somebody I was going to do something a day or two ago, and I said, I'll try to get to you in about 10 or 15 minutes. The next day sometime, they said, I thought you were going to see me in 10 minutes. I said, man, I forgot. We can't. The point I'm trying to make is each of you individually, when you hit that time clock or you come to work, you've got a responsibility. And if the boss hadn't told you exactly what to do, you ought to have been here long enough to know what you could do to help, to see that you're productive. If you're working, drink your milk, son. It's going to get hot. Or are you going to kick it over? That's what I was really worried about. But we need to take the initiative, folks, and realize who we're working for. And boy, do you have, let me tell you, All your work, and some of these fellows can say they're in an awful mess. It gets dirty, just like last night. Some police officers handled a very tragic situation. It wasn't pleasant. And I know your work is not always pleasant. It's tough sometimes. And here again, I'm here trying to, like I say, this is your meeting, and if it's going to be successful, when you walk out of that door, you're going to have a better feeling about your job, who you work for, and your team, and realize that you are a team. If that doesn't happen here, if you don't feel a little better when you walk out, if you don't feel like you're part of a team, and if you're not more interested in trying to do better, then hell, this is a wasted time. And I hope it's not wasted. That's why we're here. I think sometimes that we don't realize the significance of that. When people come in, as I was saying, I wanted to see, I want to say, this is my city hall. This is my building. My tax dollars paid for this. And I want them to be treated nice. Now, I know, I've been around long enough to know that there's a blankety blank in every crowd. I know all about that. But I'm going to tell you something, folks. 90%, I tell you, I deal in rough figures. 90% of the folks that live in this community that you serve are Jim Dandy people. They don't need a policeman. Conduct would be perfect if not a police car went around town that helped their neighbor keep everything in order. This the 10% sometimes is causing some trouble, and with all the people coming in paying their bills and water bills and so forth, 90% are just wonderful people. And yet sometime when that 10% or 5, whatever it is, comes in and shows their tail, then we get a sour attitude, and it rubs off on Miss Sweet Lucille that comes in next. It's tough. The point I want to emphasize is that each of you, the fellows on the garbage truck, do you know that you have more personal contact with the citizens of this town than anybody else? Not a group in this town, not an employee in this building goes by every house and look and say, hey, Ms. Jones, hey, Mr. Smith, maybe something's wrong here. Maybe we need to talk. You're a public servant. We're all public servants. I mentioned a minute ago about the profit motive of private business. Man, they ain't going to move this industry somewhere else. It's going to be here this year, next year, the year after that. But we ain't got to look for somebody to buy shoes. Those taxes every year, when they go to the store, you know that people spend in here, and that little sales tax that you pay when you buy something amounts to about $14 million every 4 or 5 years or so. That little bit of change, and it goes back into these coffers. And it runs this machine. And when they come in there and pay their water bill, and by the way, we just went up on the garbage and the trash a little bit. And I'll tell you why. I'm here to cheer and promote. Let me tell you a real sad story. And I'm struggling with this every day. And I guess misery loves company. I want you to struggle with it too. I want you to take this load. You're part of this team. You're linking this team. I want you to put this on your shoulders. Do you know right now the general fund is overdrawn $400,000? And most of you are paid out of the general fund. Overdrawn $400,000. And we're not, don't worry, everybody's check's fine. We have a combined checking account, and there's revenue in there. But the department that if you're not water and sewer, you're working on borrowed money. Now that's where it comes to me and Eric and the others too, in the council to correct these problems. That's where it comes with the department heads to look and see where we can cut expenses and do things that will help that. And we're working on it. I think that you're going to find, you don't need to bear down on this too much. I don't want you to overload you. I want you to over. But now, if we're working 40 hours this week or 80 hours of the 2 weeks, we get paid every 2 weeks. And most of the time, we're sort of relaxed and not too rushed and got a little time to spare. And then all of a sudden, something comes up, a tornado comes through or something, and then this is I'm kind of gouging you here now, because I'm looking at the expenses. You remember where I'm sitting, and then you take and hit the overtime clock for several hours. I want you compensated. I want every one of you to make more money than you're making. But y'all, we got to operate within our budget, and y'all got to help me. I can't do it sitting in there, but you folks can handle it. That's the reason you're here. I'm trying to shift the burden onto your back, and I hope you would accept it and say, what can I do to make this a better town? What can I do to improve my department? What can I do to make the people of Hazlehurst look more favorable upon the city employees? What can I do to make this town grow and businesses want to come here? And let me tell you something. Used to, when we had cheap labor in the South, the New England area with all the factories, they found out they could come down here and get smart, intelligent, hard-working people for about half the money they were paying a month old. And all these factories were flooded in here. Big factory, like all of them really, they came in here. So like Santa Claus coming to town. Y'all Santa, I hope there's a few that still believe in Santa Claus. I sort of do, but Santa Claus is not coming with any more factories. It's not coming. Santa Claus is delivering his factories to cheap labor in China, Mexico, India, and other places. Santa Claus is finding that he's getting more cookies and milk somewhere else. But let me tell you something. This town, with your help and with the right leadership, can grow 1 job, 4 jobs, 5, little small this and that and the other. And the business community around here, if we've got the right attitude and attract the right people, this town can grow and be a blessing to our children and grandchildren. So my purpose in getting you together is simply to ask you to consider you're part of the team. Am I being productive? Am I doing the best that I can? Am I creating the right atmosphere for our citizens and visitors? I'm a church-going man. May not have done me any good, but I'm going to tell you something. You can search 100 miles from here. If you find a person with better Sunday school attendance at 9:30 in the morning in my Sunday school class, at 11 o'clock I'm in the church worship service, and I'm back Sunday night at the evening worship. And if we don't have worship at our church, I'm usually visiting somewhere else. I'm not saying that's going to do you any good. I'm a Christian man. I make mistakes. But let me tell you, we need to be careful about our loyalty to the man upstairs and how we handle that. And when this is what's said now, and I'm just repeating what's been said, and I want to share it with you. A lot of time industries come into town and they're riding around town. and this has been told over and over again, and I'm sure it's quite true. They see so many churches, one in this store building, and one in this big church building, and one in here. They say, look, we're not going to bring our plant here. These people can't get along. Every time a group gets mad, they go and organize another church. So these people, I can tell they don't get along. And us out here, you're talking about a Christian man speaking to that. Someone that's devoted to it. When we're so divided, oh, I'm going to go here and do this and that and the other. Another thing, I tried real hard, even when I was here before, and worked on it again this time, and I lost it. I wanted that school down yonder to become a civic center, because even see, if we had our employees here, a lot of them are busy, they get in here. We don't have a big enough place to meet. And let me tell you something. The South Side has got a place for them to go meet. First Baptist has got a place for them to go meet. And Church of God has got theirs, and all of these places. But y'all, we're all divided. I wanted a civic center, community center, so that all the churches, all the people could have different functions. And you know what? Just like with y'all now, I believe this community and y'all would love one another more if you got together and really got to know one another. You'll be surprised. You might have a friend in here that you just couldn't possibly imagine if we get together and do this. So, as I told you when you came in, this is not my meeting. This is your meeting. Now you can do with it what you want. I'm going to do my best from where I'm sitting to provide, while I'm here, the best leadership I can possibly provide. Another thing I want to say, the more responsibility you have of people, the more you need to be concerned about their lives. Now, you're not their minister, and you're not their teacher, and you're not their mama, and you're not their daddy. But when you folks come here 8 hours a day, there's 24 hours in the day. Let's say you're here 8 hours. A third of your life, Monday through Friday, but a third of your life is involved in your job, what you do, and you've got a supervisor. If you hate your supervisor, and you hate who's directing you, and they don't have an understanding of communication, yes, I expect you to work, but at the same time, I want you to have a good life. And you've got a life besides here. And I'm just using you as an example here, baby. The more responsibility you supervisors, I'm mostly talking supervisors now, you dictate a third of that person's hours that they're breathing. And if you don't feel responsibility to care and try to promote and help their life, you're a bad supervisor. I told you that I believe in discipline and working. At the same time, you're over these lives. And you need to consider that. If you don't consider that, you've been promoted wrong. So there's a lot here to making this team and making it function and to accomplishing what we're trying to do. And each of you is a link in this chain. And whatever your weakness is, and whatever you don't do, and whatever you fail to do that you want to do, that's when the chain pops and the truck don't get out of the ditch to see it's not what it should be, because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Chris, Woody, where'd Woody go? I went by the other day, there'd been a fire hydrant leaking for I don't know how long. The person the house where they were told me it had been leaking off and on for several years. They'd fix it, they'd leak again, fix it, leak again. I don't know whether that's true or not, doesn't matter. They're busy. Those folks, I'm going to tell you something now. They're sort of some of my favorite employees, because I guess I work closer with them than maybe I do you. I'm kind of fond of those guys. I like them. They crawled in some tough stuff, and I appreciate it. They went there and took that fire hydrant, big old heavy cast iron thing, got it apart, did this, took two of them with a wrench to unscrew it, get it all out, finally got there to fix this bed of yard, the whole corner was flooded. Take it out, they take it apart, they put it down in there, and they get it all put back. It's a little bit too small. It's the wrong part. Pouring right on. It was the replacement part, I think. I don't know. But again, supervisors and employees. We've got 3 or 4 different fire hydrants in this town, and firemen, y'all can help with this. What type of replacement seal do you need? You got 40 fire hydrants out of commission that could be used. There's a certain seal there. Why isn't there they're not that expensive. You know what they had to do? Take the old torn out thing there, and you pull out, it was all jagged around there, but it didn't leak as bad as the one that was a little too. We better put that one back in, and then they get in there, they unscrew, they take it all apart, they take the old one and put it back in, and it's over there still leaking. If you are listening to me, I've used them an example I can because they know I like them. I know they work hard. But let me tell you something. If everybody in that department and your department was thinking, you know, we're going to need 6 of these. We're going to need that. I'm trying to put the load and the success of what we do on your shoulders. Please take responsibility. And if you know that you're going to need something or in your area of work, try to have it there so that we provide good service, we earn our pay, we're efficient, and we're growing a great town. I preached enough. It's your time. I hope that you leave here a little bit more determined to work together, to see where you can lend a helping hand, not only in your department, but somewhere else. Look, so-and-so, how I can help you with this? We're a team, y'all. Let's try to work and act as one, please. Please. Pretty please. I think maybe I've done my best to do what I brought you here for. I hope I. And I don't want any, y'all been very attentive, quiet. And I can look, most of you are listening pretty hard. And thank you, because I mean well. I don't want this in, I believe stand up, speak up, and shut up. It's about time me to shut up. But I wouldn't mind, and I'm not going to allow it, just say 4 or 5 minutes for this now, so what I'm fixing to do. But if somebody, from what I've said, what you think might help, you might have a burning statement. It'll have to be brief. I'm not here for, I'm taking the prerogative of being the only long-winded here today. But if you've got a brief statement that you'd like to make about your job or your work or whatnot, I'm going to allow for 4 or 5 minutes right here. And you stand up and speak up real clean and sit back down now. Don't be creating no mess. I haven't created a mess. I've tried to challenge it. I don't expect you to create it. We're not going to have it. But if you've got something that you think will contribute to what we're trying to do, stand up and speak up. Thank you for coming. Have a good day, a good week, a good month. And by the way, I'm a hot-natured son of a gun. I'm up here sweating now. And thank the Lord for the fall. Woo, it's nice. Thank the Lord for it. But I want you to enjoy your work. Help us to do. You heard what I said. It's been your meeting. You do with it now what you want. Good day.
I'll get you another biscuit, please. I'd like to have one.
Before you go, we got one question we want to ask, because the holidays are just around the corner. As you know, I said
to do with what he was just talking about. It's got to do with
Listen,
participating together.
listen,
You know, usually we have a Christmas dinner and everybody gets together, everybody eats, says a few words, and then everybody leaves. This year, us ladies are trying to bring everybody together. We want to have some games, give away some gifts. Maybe a little, name that tune, a little charade, something like that. Would y'all be interested in doing something like that? I mean, something fun. Everybody can get together.
Can we do it
Break
at
up teams.
can we do it at a bigger place where we?
Yeah, we can do it
I
in
mean,
the city center.
I would like to do that.
We are actually looking at having both, the mayor had mentioned Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner. And as you know, I sent a survey around. If you have not turned it in, I would love to have it by the end of next week. It's gonna fly by, okay? We're actually looking at the Civic Center. We're gonna decorate it, you know. There's gonna be more details coming along.
you know, we've come back in possession of that building out there, and it's costing us a lot of money, as you well know. But it's ours. We got to look after it.
But I thought that would be something, and we've
And,
all
we
been
can
talking
have it out
about it. We
there.
thought maybe that would be really fun, and maybe everybody would want to get in on it and all. So
Wait a minute, I
that's
take
something
that
I'd like
back.
to
It's
do.
not ours. It belongs to the citizens of Hazlehurst.
It's the people's. The people's.
Y'all correct me
Y'all
when
would
I
all be
mess
interested in
up.
doing something like that? I mean, we don't want to get everything together and get little door prizes and then everybody just sit there and not do nothing. You know, because, I mean, we're excited about it.
Y'all talk to Lori and let's work on it.
And Kim, we're all in it.
All the ladies, talk to them about it, and they'll try to help. And I have asked this now, I did prompt them a little bit at the beginning. I want us, with it being Thanksgiving and Christmas, I want us as a group to enjoy and to celebrate it together. Enjoy a good meal at Thanksgiving and enjoy one another. And I want us to do the same thing at Christmas. And I want that to add to our spirit of teamwork. And we're gonna do what we can to help it. Anything else?
Thank you for
Thank you,
what you
ladies and
do.
gentlemen. Thank you.
Make sure y'all sign